This week, I'm creating a vision board to manifest my dream life, and I am both excited and terrified. If there's anything that I've learned in life, it's that your thoughts and the way that you speak to yourself and think about yourself are incredibly powerful, and creating a vision board could be the avenue to truly change my life. Hi everyone, my name is Angel, and I'm on a 2021 challenge to turn my dreams into reality. It's a weekly video series where I do one thing every week that gets me closer to my dreams. And this week is a vision board. So it's actually been about 3 weeks since I posted my last video, and that's for 2 reasons. The first one is I let the fear overtake me. After years of self-sabotaging myself and not believing in my own potential, it's a huge shift to allow myself to pursue my dreams and anything that I want to do. Honestly, it was kind of scary, but I'm ready to dive back in. The second reason is I had a really transformative month where a lot of really rough things happened to me, but it allowed me to contemplate a lot on my life. I had a relative pass away, I had a really intensive depressive episode, and I also got really sick. And all of those things put together really allowed me to contemplate my own mortality and make me want to truly pursue an authentic life. So I'm excited to show you what my vision board is and my journey for the rest of the coming weeks. So here's why I think creating a vision board is so important. When things get hard, and I know they will, I want to be able to see something visually to remind me why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm going to be creating my vision board on Photoshop and making it the lock screen on my phone and the background on my computer. But here's another reason why I think a vision board is so incredibly important. I truly believe that when you create and visualize this dream life for yourself, it creates this powerful energy and the universe will conspire with you to achieve that. And I've seen that with my own life. Most recently, I was featured on the New York Times talking about self-love and relationships. I even had a photo shoot where they photographed me in a bikini for the New York Times. And that's because I put into the universe that I wanted to have this career where I make effective change with self-love, body positivity, and neutrality. And this happened to me. It's absolutely crazy and I can't explain it, but I truly believe there's a massive energy that you put out and that the universe truly will support you if you allow yourself to dream. This is the most challenging part for me, is writing down my dreams. As someone that struggles with depression and anxiety and has struggled with low self-esteem for a really long time, allowing myself to dream a big dream, to truly pursue what I want to do, can feel impossible. All these negative self-talk and these limiting beliefs tend to take over my mind and I'm barely able to think. So here are 2 strategies that I utilize to help myself overcome that and allow myself to dream whatever I want to dream. So the first strategy that I use is thinking about myself in third person. I tend to believe in other people a lot easier than I actually believe in myself, so I'm actually going to turn that on its head. So I imagine myself as my best friend or a family member that I really love. So I think, oh, Angel wants to be a New York Times bestseller, or Angel wants to travel the world. And that allows me to almost separate myself from myself and think about all these crazy things that I want and not doubt myself doing it. So the second strategy is something that I learned during meditation and my mindfulness exercises, and that is observing but not interacting when it comes to my intrusive thoughts and negative self-talk. I'm realizing in my life that you can't really help some of the thoughts that come into your head, but you can change the way that you interact with them. For example, I would view my thoughts the way that I would view clouds passing in the sky. I'd observe, I'd acknowledge, and then I'd let them pass. And that really helps me regulate some of the negative thoughts and self-talk that I have in my head and allows me to dream a bigger dream a lot easier without battling my mind. So after I allowed myself to write down my dreams and goals in my journal, I tried to whittle them down to about 10 to 15 general ideas or statements as to what I want my dreams to be. And after that, I went on Pinterest and I went on Google and found images that aligned with what my dreams and goals actually were. I created a Pinterest board that I named Angel's Vision Board, I think is what I called it. And all of the Google images I just put in a folder on my desktop labeled Angel's Dreams. So let me show you what my vision board looks like right now. I'm super excited to show you. So this is my vision board, and this is already the finished product. I edited it in Photoshop and also edited a couple of the photos, so I want to show you what I have so far. Alright, so as you can tell, I have maybe about 10 to 20 images in total. So there aren't too many because I didn't want to overwhelm myself visually with too much clutter. So I tried to make it as simple as possible. I'm going to start out from left to right and explain each photo to you. So I want to start out with the top left photo. So this is a world map that I found on Google Images, and I added a couple dots on Photoshop of some of the places that I want to visit. A big part of my dream is to integrate travel into my career. I want to be a content creator that integrates travel, wellness, and self-development. So that's something that I want to do. So right next to it is the New York Times bestseller logo. One of my biggest dreams since I was a very young girl was to publish a book. So I'm writing a book right now, but this is going to be years in the making. So that logo is just a reminder of what my dream is in the long run. Right next to it is an image of a New York City apartment. At one point in my life, I want to live in New York. So it's a reminder for me to make that a goal and potentially live in a beautiful apartment like that. On the top right is a screenshot of my Instagram with the following change to 2 million followers. One of my big goals is to utilize social media as an avenue for change, to advocate for self-love, mental health, and also healing. So that's a reminder for me that I want to get there at some point. This brings me to the second row. So there's this small image of a hand poking a balloon that says fear, because a big part of what I want to do in life is to constantly face my fears and overcome them. I've lived a big part of my life scared and stuck in this small little box, and I never want to live that way again. Okay, so the picture right next to it is actually a Photoshop picture of me on this, like, I don't know if it's like a stock image of these two people on a podcast, because one of my biggest goals is to have a podcast or an interview show where I get to interview and meet inspirational people. That would just be a dream job. So I want to talk about two photos that are right there in the middle on the second row, and that is the Forbes 30 Under 30 logo and a Photoshopped picture of me talking at a TEDx talk. All right, the Forbes 30 Under 30 list is basically a reminder for myself that I really, really want to make positive and big change in the world before I'm 30. Does that mean that I don't want to make a change after 30? Absolutely not. But it is a benchmark to remind me that in my 20s, there are things that I want to do in my life, and hopefully I could be a 30 under 30, but at the end of the day, making a change to the world is my ultimate goal. And that is the very same thought process that I have for speaking at a TED Talk. I have always wanted to speak at a TED Talk. I've been watching TED Talks since I was a teenager, and they have changed my life. So to be on the level of anyone that speaks at a TED Talk would be an incredible honor and a dream. So let's talk about the three images of these badass women that I put on my vision board. For me, I really love having role models in my life and having a visual, like, picture of my role models to remind me of the kind of person that I want to be. And honestly, the three that I could think of are these powerful, badass women of color: Michelle Obama, Malala Yousafzai, and Rihanna. Honestly, all of them have made a change to their specific environment, industry, world in such different and unique ways. And it reminds me, as a woman of color, as a queer woman of color, that I am capable of doing anything. If these badass women can do it, so can I. Okay, so right below that is also a picture of my TikTok. As I mentioned before, it's really the same concept as my Instagram. Is I want to inspire ideally millions of people. And to inspire millions of people is to have a following of millions of people as well. So I have a screenshot of my TikTok, and I edited the actual following to 1 million followers. And I did the same thing on the next row, that bottom left, of my YouTube. My goal is also 1 million subscribers. That would be absolutely incredible. Not sure how long that's going to take, but it's always great to have a really big goal that scares you just a little bit. All right, so speaking of things that scare me, I wrote myself a check for $10 million. So I think it was Jim Carrey that might have done this when he was like a broke actor. He wrote a check for himself for like $1 million or maybe more $1 million to encourage him and have faith in his own success. And that's essentially where I got that from. I've never necessarily been motivated by money, but I do know that money buys a lot of things that I want to have access to. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to profit off of my career and my dreams. I want to be able to be a philanthropist and to donate money to worthy causes, and that requires me to be rich and successful. And though I think I personally have had this stigma against wealth and success, if and when I do achieve that, I want to be able to define wealth and success in the way that I want to do it, and in a way that's ethical, in a way that contributes to humanity, and in a way that helps me achieve my dreams that ultimately makes the world a better place. Up next is this picture of a videographer in his silhouette in a very photogenic kind of environment. I want to create videos for my career, and whether it be on social media or whether it be someday in Hollywood on film, I want to keep that avenue open for myself. And right on top of that is this little text box, this pink text box that says, "How I overcame my depression and healed from my eating disorder." So this one is really personal for me because when one thinks of a vision board, I don't necessarily think healing from my eating disorder and overcoming my depression is something that one thinks. But struggling with these two things has made life very difficult. And to be able to say that I healed and overcame these would be one of the biggest dreams of my life, because it's hard. Struggling with these things is difficult. And it's probably in my top 3 dreams, because though I've learned a lot struggling through my mental health, it's something that I would like to one day be able to manage and overcome to the best of my ability. All right, and the last photo is a picture of these Filipino schoolgirls. And for me, that is a reminder that I want to inspire young people just like me. As a young woman of color, as a Filipina, I cannot change the struggles that I've been through in my youth and the mistakes that I made. But I know that I can also help the next generation because of the mistakes that I made. And that's a reminder that I want to have every day for the rest of my life. All right, so that is my vision board. And as you can see, I really had a bunch of different kinds of goals and dreams. Some were a little bit more abstract, some were specific, some will take years, and some will take months. But at the end of the day, when I look at this vision board, I see exactly what I want my life to be. And it feels kind of trippy, and it feels like a Sims simulation, but it makes me feel really amazing. And it feels like a love letter to myself almost, to say, hey, I believe in you, and I took all of this time to create your dream life. And though it may take time, I know what you want, I will help you do it. There is nothing more powerful than being your own cheerleader. There's nothing more powerful than allowing yourself to have power over your own dreams and not allowing these intrusive thoughts or negative self-talk or the voices of other people in your past discouraging you take over. If there's one thing that I've learned in this entire journey, is that there is power in self-belief. And that is why I think creating a vision board is so incredibly important. Because whether all of these things happen or not, it creates an energy. It creates a confidence. It creates some type of abstract reality that will help you achieve some, if not every single one of these things. By focusing on the possibilities instead of what could go wrong. Though, of course, there is a balance, right? But by seeing the possibilities, even right now, it just makes me feel like there is so much untapped potential inside of myself, inside of my spirit. And I hope that if you're trying to achieve your dreams or create a vision board too, like me, that you feel that same energy as well. It's scary. It's really scary, but I promise it is so incredibly worth it. Anyways, That is my vision board. I am incredibly proud of her, and I really think that I can achieve everything on this list. It will take time, of course, but I believe in myself. And man, oh man, is that powerful. Tune in next week with another episode of what I'm doing to turn my dreams into reality, because I believe that I can do whatever I want in life, and I think you can too. Have a beautiful day. I love you, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!